In the annals of myth and the whispers of history, a name echoes with a power that transcends time: Merlin, the prophet, the sorcerer, the mentor of kings. He is the enigmatic figure who stands at the crossroads of myth and reality, a being of immense wisdom and unyielding power. But who was this man really? Was he merely a character conjured from the depths of literary fantasy, or a powerful echo of a much older, more profound truth? To truly understand the legend of Merlin, we must embark on a journey that begins not with the gleaming sword of Arthur, but with the raw, untamed essence of the ancient Celtic lands. Our quest takes us to the 6th century, to a time of chaos and conflict in post-Roman Britain. Here, a figure emerges from the fog of history, the Welsh bard Myrddin Wyllt, the Wild Merlin. This was the original Merlin, a prophetic poet said to have lost his mind after witnessing the horrific slaughter of the Battle of Arthurian. Overwhelmed by the tragedy, he fled to the dense forest of Caledon, choosing a life of solitude and communion with nature over the insanity of human conflict. This Myrddin was not a wizard in the modern sense, but a shaman, a seer whose prophecies were inspired by the very rhythms of the earth. His power was not a magical spectacle but a deep, spiritual connection to the land itself, a wisdom so profound it bordered on the divine. The ancient stories tell of his ability to communicate with animals and his knowledge of plants and herbs, a knowledge that made him both revered and feared. He was a harbinger of truth, a voice for a world that was slowly slipping away. The legend as we know it today, however, was not forged in the wild woods but in the scholarly halls of the 12th century. It was here that the Welsh cleric Geoffrey of Monmouth took the raw historical figure of Myrddin and transformed him into the sophisticated, mystical wizard we now recognize. In his groundbreaking work Historia Regum Britanniae, Geoffrey reimagines Merlin's origins entirely. He casts him as a boy born not of a mortal father, but of an incubus, a demonic spirit, thus granting him preternatural powers from birth. This new Merlin possessed an otherworldly intellect and an innate understanding of the future. The most famous of his early exploits is the prophecy he delivers to King Vortigern, a symbolic vision of a red dragon and a white dragon battling beneath a castle, a representation of the struggle between the Welsh and the Anglo-Saxons. This act establishes Merlin not just as a seer, but as a political advisor, a master manipulator of events who uses his foresight to shape the course of history itself. Merlin's transformation was complete when he became the architect of the Arthurian legend. It was he who orchestrated the fateful union of Uther Pendragon and Igraine, ensuring the birth of the prophesied king. He was the one who placed the sword in the stone, creating the ultimate test of a true ruler. But his role went far beyond a mere facilitator. Merlin was the mentor, the guide, the steady hand behind the throne. He was a strategic genius, a political powerhouse who used his wisdom to build a golden age for Britain. The Round Table, the symbol of unity and equality, was not just a piece of furniture. It was Merlin's vision for a just and noble kingdom, a kingdom that would rise from the ashes of a fractured land. He was a figure of profound contradictions, a creature of the wild who served in royal courts, a master of dark magic who fought for the light, and an all-knowing prophet whose own fate remained a mystery. In this first chapter, we have only begun to scratch the surface of Merlin's complex identity. We have seen how a historical prophet, a man of the wild, was reborn as the ultimate literary wizard. But the story is far from over. In the next chapter we will delve into the very essence of his power, exploring the nature of his magic and the legendary figures who would challenge his authority. In the realm of Arthurian legend, magic is not merely a tool, it is a force of nature, an ancient power that flows through the very land itself. And at the heart of this power stands Merlin. His magic is a tapestry woven from the threads of ancient Celtic mysticism, druidic wisdom and arcane knowledge. It is the magic of the primordial world, a force tied to the stars, the elements and the spirits of the earth. Unlike the flashy theatrics of modern fiction, Merlin's sorcery is subtle and profound. He can change his shape, control the weather and craft powerful illusions. But his greatest strength lies in his ability to see beyond the veil of time, to read the destinies of men and manipulate the forces that shape their lives. He is not just a spellcaster, he is a master of the cosmic order. Yet, even a man of his unparalleled power is not immune to the complexities of human relationships. The most pivotal of these is his connection to the enigmatic Lady of the Lake. She is the keeper of secrets, the guardian of Excalibur, and a being of immense power herself. In some tales, she is the enchantress Vivian, who becomes Merlin's lover and pupil. Eager to learn the secrets of his power, she uses her beauty and wit to persuade him to reveal his most guarded spells. This relationship is a beautiful yet tragic dance of power, love and betrayal. While Merlin is the embodiment of male magic, Vivian represents the potent, feminine magic of the land, an ancient force that can both create and destroy. But perhaps the most complex and fascinating relationship Merlin has is with his own pupil and rival, Morgana le Fay. The legends paint a vivid portrait of Morgana, a powerful enchantress who, in some versions, is his half-sister or a close student. She is Merlin's equal in magic, but her ambition is a twisted reflection of his own. Where Merlin seeks to guide and unify, Morgana seeks to control and dominate. Their rivalry is not just a clash of power but of ideologies. Merlin represents the order and harmony of a new kingdom, while Morgana embodies the wild, untamed magic of the old ways. Their conflict is a recurring theme in the legends, and it ultimately leads to their mutual downfall. Morgana's resentment and hunger for power drive her to become one of Arthur's greatest enemies, and in some narratives she is directly responsible for Merlin's final fate. For all his foresight, Merlin could not escape the one thing he couldn't control, the fate of the heart. The legends culminate in his tragic end, at the hands of the very woman he loved. In the most famous telling, Vivian, having learned all of Merlin's secrets, uses one of his own spells, the very spell he taught her, to trap him forever. He is sealed within an oak tree, a crystal cave, or a magical tower, forever separated from the world he so painstakingly built. This final act is profoundly symbolic. Merlin's imprisonment represents the waning of magic in the world, the final fading of the old ways as a new era of reason and logic begins. He is the last great sorcerer, a living echo of a time when the world was filled with wonder and mystery. Merlin's story, however, did not end with his imprisonment. He became a timeless archetype, the wise old man whose wisdom and magic continue to inspire. His legacy can be seen in countless works of modern culture, from the whimsical Disney film The Sword in the Stone to the darker, more nuanced television series Merlin. He is the quintessential wizard, a figure whose myth has proven to be far more powerful than any magic spell. He is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, a living echo of a magical time that continues to resonate in our hearts. In the next chapter, we will explore the different historical and cultural interpretations of his legend. The legend of Merlin is not merely a tale of magic and kings, it is a profound reflection of the clash between two worlds, the ancient pagan traditions of the Celts and the rising tide of Christianity. To truly understand the druid within Merlin, we must look to the deep connection he shares with the earth, a bond that is both spiritual and literal. The druids were more than just priests, they were philosophers, astronomers, and healers. They served as the living memory of a people, preserving their history and culture through oral tradition. Merlin embodies this role perfectly. His magic is not a product of written incantations but a deep, intuitive knowledge of the natural world, a power passed down through generations of shamans and seers. As a seer, Merlin's true power lies in his ability to see beyond the present. The legends portray him not just as a prophet of future events, but as a master of time itself. He can foresee the rise and fall of kingdoms, the battles yet to be fought, and the destinies of individuals. This foresight is both a blessing and a curse. It gives him the wisdom to guide King Arthur toward greatness, but it also traps him in the knowledge of the tragic end to come. He knows of Arthur's betrayal by Mordred and the fall of the kingdom, a heavy burden that he carries with quiet dignity. This unique ability is often represented by his control over the forces of the cosmos, from the stars to the movements of the planets, making him a celestial architect of destiny. Beyond his mystical powers, Merlin is also the ultimate king's counselor. He is the strategic mind that guides the young and proven King Arthur from a simple boy to the legendary ruler of a golden age. He advises him on matters of state, military tactics, and diplomacy. His wisdom is not just magical, it is practical and political. He is the one who understands the complexities of the human heart, the motivations of lords and rivals. He teaches Arthur the importance of justice, honor, and loyalty, lessons that become the foundation of the Knights of the Round Table. Merlin's role as a mentor is so complete that he essentially shapes Arthur into the king he is destined to be, a figure of strength and virtue. His counsel is the magic that transforms a mere man into a legend, ensuring that the legacy of Camelot will echo through the ages. Every hero is defined by the villains they face, and Merlin is no exception. His life and legacy are inextricably linked to a series of powerful antagonists who sought to destroy the world he helped create. These figures are more than simple adversaries. They are mirrors of Merlin's own power, twisted and corrupted by ambition and hate. They are the shadows of Camelot, a constant threat to the light that Merlin and Arthur strove to build. Chief among these foils is Morgana le Fay. While Merlin represents the ancient, natural magic harnessed for good, Morgana embodies its darker, more volatile side. She is his magical equal, a powerful sorceress who learned much of her craft from him, but her path is one of resentment and lust for power. She is the wild, untamed force that cannot be controlled, a living embodiment of the chaos that threatens to consume the ordered world of Camelot. Her hatred for Arthur and her desire to see his kingdom fall are a direct challenge to everything Merlin worked to achieve. Their conflict is a clash of opposing philosophies, a magical duel between order and chaos that echoes throughout the entire legend. Another figure who stands in direct opposition to Merlin's vision is Mordred. He is the ultimate betrayal, a product of Arthur's own tragic flaw. While Mordred may not possess Merlin's magical power, his treachery is a force more destructive than any spell. He is the physical manifestation of the prophesied end, a dark fate that Merlin saw coming but could not prevent. Mordred represents the inevitable fall of a golden age, the serpent in the Garden of Camelot. His existence proves that even with all of his power and foresight, Merlin cannot escape the harsh realities of human nature: betrayal, jealousy, and the unending cycle of violence. The final battle between Mordred and Arthur is the ultimate defeat of Merlin's great work, a tragic conclusion he could only foresee but never alter. Ultimately, the villains of the legend serve as a reminder of Merlin's profound limitations. His magic could defeat dragons, but it could not overcome the complexities of the human heart. His foresight could warn him of betrayal, but it could not prevent it. These foils are not merely bad guys, they are the fatal flaws in Merlin's perfect plan, a testament to the fact that even the greatest magic cannot truly conquer the inherent darkness within mankind. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the symbolism of the landscape that defined him, from the dark forests to the mystical caves. Merlin's life is defined not only by the characters he interacts with, but by the very landscapes he inhabits. From the tangled depths of the forest to the sacred silence of the cave, these places are more than just backdrops. They are powerful symbols of his identity and his magic. They are the physical manifestations of his power, the places where the line between myth and reality blurs. The forest is the first and most enduring symbol associated with Merlin. It is where his story begins as the wild prophet, Myrddin Wyllt, and where his magic is most potent. The forest represents the untamed world, a place of ancient wisdom and raw power that stands in stark contrast to the human world of kings and castles. It is in the shadows of the old trees that Merlin finds his solace and his strength. Here he is not just a man but a part of nature itself, a being who understands the secrets of the earth and the whispers of the wind. The forest is his sanctuary and his classroom, the place where he learns to commune with animals and to draw on the powerful energy of the earth itself. It is the ultimate source of his power, a reminder that true magic comes from the world around us, not from books or human constructs. While the forest represents his connection to the natural world, the cave symbolizes something far more profound, a gateway to the unknown, a place of secrets and rebirth. It is in a cave that Merlin is said to have been born, and, in many legends, it is in a crystal cave that he is ultimately imprisoned. The cave is a place of duality. On one hand, it is a tomb, the final resting place of a great man whose time has passed. But on the other hand, it is a womb, a place where he rests until the world once again needs his magic. The legend of Merlin's imprisonment in a cave is not just a tragic ending, it is a promise. It suggests that his wisdom is not lost but simply hidden, waiting for the right moment to return. The cave is a testament to the enduring power of his legacy, a hidden wellspring of magic waiting to be rediscovered. The forest and the cave are two sides of the same coin. One represents the outer world of wild, untamed power, and the other represents the inner world of hidden knowledge. Together, they form the landscape of a legend, a physical map of a man who was both a creature of the earth and a keeper of its most profound secrets. In the next chapter, we will see how these ancient symbols have been reinterpreted in modern media, from blockbuster films to epic fantasy series. In the vast ocean of storytelling, certain figures transcend their original narratives to become universal symbols. Merlin is one such figure. He has evolved from a historical prophet and a literary character into a timeless archetype, the wise old man. This archetype is a fundamental part of the human psyche, a guide and mentor who appears in countless myths and stories across the world. He represents knowledge, wisdom, and a deep, intuitive understanding of the cosmos. The wise old man is not just an old person. He is a spiritual and psychological guide. He helps the hero navigate their journey, providing them with the tools, knowledge and courage they need to face their destiny. This figure often appears at a crucial moment in the hero's life, offering counsel that is both profound and cryptic. Merlin's relationship with Arthur is a textbook example of this archetype in action. He doesn't fight the battles for Arthur, but he gives him the sword, the counsel, and the foundation upon which he can build a kingdom. He is the hidden force behind the hero's success, the quiet wisdom that makes greatness possible. This archetype is so powerful because it speaks to a universal human need, the search for guidance. In a world full of chaos and uncertainty, we look for figures who can provide clarity and direction. Merlin, as the wise old man, fills this role perfectly. His magic is not just about casting spells, it's about seeing the world for what it is and helping others do the same. He is a source of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a path forward if we are willing to listen to the wisdom of those who came before us. Merlin's transformation from a specific historical figure to a global archetype is the final proof of his enduring power. He is no longer just the mentor of King Arthur. He is a symbol of wisdom and guidance for all of us. He is the echo of Avalon that will continue to resonate as long as we seek to understand the mysteries of our own lives. In the next chapter, we will explore the different ways his magic has been interpreted and reimagined in modern literature and film. In the centuries since his legend was first put to parchment, Merlin has proven to be a remarkably adaptable figure. He has survived the ages not just as a static character from a forgotten myth, but as a living symbol constantly reimagined for new audiences. From the pages of fantasy novels to the silver screen, the modern Merlin reflects our own changing understanding of magic, power, and wisdom. One of the most popular modern interpretations of Merlin is as a more approachable and often humorous character. In Disney's The Sword in the Stone, he is an absent-minded professor, a bumbling but lovable mentor who teaches Arthur not just magic, but the importance of education and common sense. This version strips away the darker, more mysterious elements of the legend to create a family-friendly figure. In stark contrast, the BBC series Merlin reimagines him as a young, inexperienced sorcerer who must hide his powers in a world where magic is outlawed. This take on Merlin focuses on his moral struggles, his loyalty to Arthur, and the difficult choices he must make to protect his friend and his kingdom. It grounds his power in relatable human emotions, making his journey feel fresh and compelling. Other interpretations delve into the darker, more powerful side of the legend. In the film Excalibur, Merlin is a wild, almost demonic figure, a channel for primal magic that is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. His power is a force of nature, untamed and often ruthless. Similarly, in many modern fantasy settings like The Witcher or Elden Ring, the idea of the archmage or ancient sorcerer is a direct descendant of Merlin. These characters are often thousands of years old, possessing knowledge and power that is both a blessing and a curse. They represent the final stage of a magical being, a creature of immense power who is also burdened by the weight of time and history. The modern reinvention of Merlin is not just a commercial trend, it's a testament to the enduring power of his story. He can be a fool, a hero, a villain, or a god, and yet he always remains recognizably himself. He is a timeless archetype who continues to speak to our fascination with magic and our eternal quest for wisdom. The echoes of Avalon are not just in the ancient past, but in the stories we tell today, and Merlin is at the very heart of them. In the rich tapestry of the Arthurian legend, objects are rarely just objects. They are powerful symbols, imbued with deep meaning. For Merlin, two items stand out as a representation of his immense power and ultimate legacy: the sword and the crystal. Each reflects a different facet of his identity, telling a story not just of his magic but of his destiny. The sword, specifically the one embedded in the stone, is the first and most iconic symbol of Merlin's foresight. It is his test, a challenge for all of Britain to determine the one true king. But this sword is not a weapon of war. It is an instrument of fate, a tool for justice. It represents Merlin's power to manipulate destiny, to lay the foundation for a new kingdom based on merit, not lineage. The sword is an extension of Merlin's will, a magical artifact that ensures the rightful ruler will be chosen, a testament to his belief that greatness is something earned, not simply inherited. It is the beginning of the end of the old world, a single decisive act that sets in motion the golden age of Camelot. In direct contrast to the sword's raw power is the crystal. The crystal represents Merlin's confinement, the tragic conclusion of his story. In many versions of the legend, he is trapped in a crystal cave or tower, a transparent tomb that allows him to see the world he once shaped but never again touch it. The crystal is a symbol of both transparency and entrapment. It shows everything but allows nothing to pass through. It represents the finality of his legend, a beautiful but cold prison. However, the crystal is also a vessel of knowledge. It is said to contain all of Merlin's wisdom and prophecies, holding his spirit captive until the world is once again ready for him. The crystal is the perfect symbol of his enduring legacy, a silent, powerful reminder that his magic is not gone, but merely waiting. The sword and the crystal are the bookends of Merlin's story. One marks the beginning of his great work, and the other marks its end. One is a symbol of action and destiny, while the other is a symbol of reflection and hidden power. Together they tell the complete story of a man who was both a shaper of kings and a prisoner of his own foresight. Merlin is not merely a man who lives in the forest, he is an integral part of it. His magic is a reflection of the land itself, and his power is intrinsically linked to its creatures. This deep, symbiotic relationship with the natural world is a core aspect of his character, distinguishing him from other literary wizards. He is the voice of the wilderness, a bridge between the civilized world of Camelot and the untamed heart of Britain. The legends are filled with examples of Merlin's connection to animals. He often takes on the form of a wild creature, a stag, a bird, or a wolf, to observe events unseen. This shape-shifting is more than a trick, it's an expression of his oneness with the natural world. He understands the wisdom of the animals, their movements, and their instincts, and he uses this knowledge to guide his actions. In a time when the boundary between man and beast was more porous, Merlin embodied the perfect harmony between human intellect and the raw, unbridled power of nature. His magic is the rhythm of the seasons, the song of the wind through the leaves, and the power of the earth itself. His most famous connection, however, is to the dragon. The dragon is a powerful and ancient symbol in Celtic lore, representing primal power and the spirit of the land itself. In Geoffrey of Monmouth's tale, a young Merlin uncovers a prophecy about two battling dragons, one red and one white, sleeping beneath the king's castle. This act solidifies his role as a seer and as a protector of Britain. The dragon, for Merlin, is not just a monster to be slain, it is a force of nature to be understood and respected. He is a dragon's son, a creature of myth who wields the immense power of these ancient beasts to fight for a new kingdom. His power is a wild, untamed force that cannot be contained by human laws, a legacy as old as the mountains themselves. Merlin's deep-rooted connection to the land and its creatures is a final, powerful testament to his identity as a druid and a shaman. He is the last echo of a world where magic was not a spell but a way of life, where the trees spoke and the rivers sang, and where a man could find his greatest wisdom not in a book, but in the heart of the wilderness. In the Arthurian legends, Merlin's imprisonment is a tragic event, but it also serves as a potent symbol. It marks the end of an era, the moment when the ancient, untamed magic of the world begins to recede. This concept, the waning of magic, is a powerful archetype that has resonated far beyond the shores of Britain, finding its way into countless modern stories. The idea that magic is a finite resource, one that is slowly dying, is a core theme in many fantasy epics. In Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, the elves are leaving Middle-earth, and the Age of Wizards is giving way to the Age of Men. Gandalf, a figure who shares many of Merlin's archetypal qualities, must also depart, leaving the world to find its own way without his immense power. This mirrors Merlin's final act, a self-imposed exile that leaves humanity to face its destiny alone. Similarly, in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, magic exists, but it is a hidden world, forced to operate in secret from the Muggle world. It is a fragile power, constantly at risk of being exposed or forgotten. This archetype speaks to a deep human anxiety, the fear that we are losing a connection to something vital, something magical. Merlin's story is a beautiful and sorrowful meditation on this theme. His imprisonment isn't a defeat, it's a necessary sacrifice. It allows humanity to grow and evolve on its own, without the guiding hand of magic. It suggests that while the Age of Wonders may be over, the lessons learned from it will endure. The echoes of Avalon are not just a whisper of what was, but a memory that shapes what is to come. Merlin's legend is built upon his ability to see beyond the present. His prophecies are not merely predictions, they are a direct line to the heart of the land, a voice speaking from the distant past to shape the future. The stories of Merlin's foresight, particularly those in Geoffrey of Monmouth's Prophecies Merlini, are a complex tapestry of historical events, allegories, and symbolic visions. These are not simple glimpses into the future, but a profound understanding of the cyclical nature of history itself. The most famous of Merlin's prophecies is that of the red dragon and the white dragon, a symbolic vision of the coming conflicts in Britain. This prophecy, which he delivers to King Vortigern, foretells the struggle between the native Britons, the Red Dragon, and the invading Anglo-Saxons, the White Dragon. This is a perfect example of Merlin's genius. He uses a dramatic, magical vision to explain a political and military reality. He is not just a foreteller of events, but a chronicler of fate, someone who understands that history repeats itself and that the battles of the past will always echo in the future. He is the living memory of Britain, a guide who warns of the dangers to come by reminding people of the lessons that have already been forgotten. Merlin's prophecies are often ambiguous and open to interpretation. They speak in riddles and symbols, forcing those who hear them to look for the deeper meaning. This ambiguity is a key part of his character. It shows that even with all his knowledge, Merlin does not believe in a predetermined, unchangeable future. His prophecies are not a rigid script, but a warning, a way of giving humanity a chance to change its destiny. They are a constant reminder that while the future is often a reflection of the past, the choices we make today can still shape the world to come. We've explored Merlin's origins as a historical figure and his evolution as a mythical archetype. But why, centuries later, does he still matter? The answer lies in his enduring relevance. Merlin isn't just a character from a distant past. He's a symbol that continues to resonate in our modern, technological world. He embodies a yearning for a deeper connection to nature, a skepticism of pure logic, and a belief that there are still mysteries left to uncover. In an age of scientific rationality and digital screens, Merlin represents a different kind of knowledge. He reminds us that not every problem can be solved with an algorithm, and not every question can be answered with a formula. He is the voice of intuition and of ancient wisdom. The stories of his magic, his ability to talk to animals, to see the future in the stars, and to command the elements, are a powerful counterpoint to our increasingly controlled and predictable lives. He encourages us to look beyond the surface, to find magic in the natural world, and to believe in the impossible. Merlin's most powerful lesson for the modern world is that wisdom comes from a balance of different forces. He is a blend of science and spirit, history and prophecy, human and divine. He reminds us that true progress is not just about technology, but about our connection to ourselves, to each other, and to the world around us. His story is a timeless message that the greatest power comes not from what we control, but from what we understand and respect. He is the ultimate guide for a world that has lost its way, a call back to a time when wonder and wisdom were intertwined. Before he was the wise mentor of King Arthur, Merlin was a figure deeply rooted in the primordial world of Celtic mythology. His story is not just a part of British history, but a profound reflection of the beliefs of an ancient people. To understand the true source of his power, we must look beyond the legends of Camelot and into the rich, complex tapestry of Celtic folklore. In the Celtic world, magic was not something separated from life. It was woven into the very fabric of existence. The Druids, who were priests, judges, and healers, embodied this worldview. Merlin, in many ways, is the literary embodiment of the last great Druid. His power comes from his connection to the earth, the sky, and the seasons. He understands the secret language of trees, the power of sacred sites, and the rhythm of the celestial bodies. Unlike the magic of later eras, his is not tied to a book or a wand but to the land itself. He represents a time when the physical and spiritual worlds were one, a time when magic was as natural as the wind and the rain. Merlin's story also draws heavily from the rich tradition of Celtic heroes and demigods. His own magical birth, his mastery of disguise, and his ability to command nature are all common themes in Celtic folklore. He is the ultimate shapeshifter, a trickster, and a wise man all rolled into one. His dual nature, part human and part otherworldly, reflects the Celtic belief in a world populated by spirits, fairies, and ancient deities. He is the bridge between the human world and the mystical realm of the Sidhe, the fairy folk. He can move between these worlds with ease, bringing their magic and their wisdom to bear on the mortal world. By understanding Merlin's roots in Celtic mythology, we can see that his story is far more than just a tale of a wizard. It is the final whisper of an ancient worldview, a reminder of a time when the world was seen as a living, breathing entity filled with magic. He is the last echo of Avalon, a timeless symbol of the power of the land and the endurance of ancient beliefs. Beyond the magic and the prophecies, the legend of Merlin is a profound psychological drama. He is not just a character. He is an embodiment of different facets of the human psyche. His story can be viewed as a journey through the subconscious, a struggle between the ego, the self, and the often hidden parts of our own minds. In psychological terms, Merlin represents the wise old man archetype as we discussed, but he also embodies the shadow. The shadow, a term coined by psychologist Carl Jung, is the unconscious part of ourselves that is often repressed or hidden. It contains our darkest fears, desires, and instincts. Merlin's dual nature, his wild, almost demonic origins and his noble, guiding purpose, is a perfect representation of this. He is a being who commands immense power, a power that can be used for both good and ill. His magic is a force of nature that is not inherently moral, and he must constantly strive to use it for the betterment of others, a struggle that mirrors the human journey to control our own darker impulses. Merlin's ultimate fate, his imprisonment by Vivian, can also be viewed through a psychological lens. It is not just a betrayal but a symbolic act of integration. Vivian, who learns all of his secrets and then uses them against him, represents the part of Merlin that he must finally confront and accept. She is the embodiment of his own hidden feminine and intuitive self, a power he has kept at a distance. His imprisonment can be seen as the ultimate psychological sacrifice, a final surrender of the ego to the self. He allows himself to be contained by a part of him that he has been hiding, a necessary step for him to achieve a state of true wisdom and peace. His power is not lost, it is simply internalized, a part of the greater cosmic whole. By understanding Merlin as a psychological figure, we can see that his story is far more than a myth. It is a timeless narrative about the human journey to confront our inner demons, to accept our hidden selves, and to find true wisdom not in external power but in inner peace. He is the ultimate guide not just for a king but for the soul. In an age dominated by climate change and environmental concerns, the legend of Merlin takes on a new and unexpected relevance. Beyond his role as a wizard and mentor, Merlin is the ultimate ecological prophet. His story serves as a timeless warning and a powerful reminder of our deep connection to the natural world, a connection that we have long forgotten. The legend of Merlin and his wild, untamed nature is in stark contrast to the human desire to control and conquer the land. He represents a world where humanity and nature exist in harmony, where the trees, the animals, and the rivers are not just resources but living beings with their own spirits. His magic is not a force that bends nature to his will. It is a power that comes from understanding and respecting it. He is a guardian of the ancient ways, a voice that speaks for the wilderness that is slowly being consumed by civilization. His prophecies, often filled with allegorical images of forests being cleared and lands being ravaged, can be read as a warning about the devastating consequences of our actions on the environment. Merlin's story offers us a path forward. He teaches us that true power comes not from dominating the earth, but from living in balance with it. He is a guide for those who seek to heal the rift between humanity and the natural world. His knowledge of the natural world, from the power of plants to the wisdom of animals, is a blueprint for a more sustainable future. He is a symbol of hope, a reminder that the magic of the world is still there, waiting for us to rediscover it. We must listen to the echoes of Avalon and heed the words of the wild man of the woods, for his message is not just a myth from a distant past, but a crucial call to action for our present. Merlin is not just a wizard. He is the voice of the earth itself, a timeless symbol of our need to reconnect with the world around us. He is a powerful reminder that our own fate is inextricably linked to the fate of the planet, and that to save ourselves, we must first save the magic that lives in the heart of the wild. The figure of Merlin has found his most prolific home in the world of film and television. The visual narrative has allowed directors and screenwriters to reinterpret his magic in ways that literature could not, bringing his prophecies and spells to life with a realism and power never before seen. The Merlin we know today exists as much on screen as he does in the pages of books. In the 1981 film Excalibur, director John Boorman presents a Merlin who is a force of nature, a savage, archaic, and almost animalistic sorcerer. Portrayed by Nicol Williamson, this Merlin is not a wise old man, but an erratic, dangerous, and deeply connected being of the earth. His magic is raw and visceral, often manifested through the dragon's breath, a power that comes directly from the heart of the land. This portrayal helped reintroduce the character as more than just a simple wizard, elevating him to the status of a primal, mythical being. In contrast, the BBC television series Merlin offers a young, inexperienced Merlin with a power he struggles to control. This version, which radically departs from traditional legends, focuses on his friendship with a young Arthur and the difficulties of living in a kingdom where magic is outlawed. The show humanizes the character, making him vulnerable and forcing him to make moral decisions that often put him in danger. This Merlin is not the wise, ancient mentor, but the loyal friend, the protector in the shadows, and the unlikely hero. His magic is a secret he must hide, which adds a layer of suspense and drama to his journey. film and television have allowed the Merlin archetype to evolve. From the eccentric and comical mentor in the Disney animated classic The Sword in the Stone to the mystical and powerful sorcerer of modern series, each new version of the character tells us something about our own era. Merlin has become a blank canvas for exploring themes like destiny, power, friendship, and sacrifice. He is not just a sorcerer, but a mirror of the wisdom, vulnerability, and magic that we still seek in the world today. In a world where the laws of physics are codified and reality is measured by data, where does a figure like Merlin fit? The legend of Merlin is often seen as a counterpoint to the rise of science, a last gasp of a magical age giving way to an age of reason. But perhaps that view is too simplistic. Merlin is not a force that is defeated by science. He is a different kind of knowledge, one that exists in harmony with it. He represents the intuitive, the unknown, and the spiritual, all of which still have a vital place in our modern world. Merlin's magic can be seen as an ancient form of science, a system of understanding the world through observation and pattern recognition. His prophecies are not just magical visions, they are a form of complex pattern analysis, a way of seeing the future by understanding the cycles of the past. He is a proto-scientist, a figure who seeks to understand the hidden laws of the universe, not to bend them but to work with them. In a world increasingly defined by algorithms and big data, Merlin's wisdom is a reminder that there are other ways of knowing, other forms of intelligence that are just as valid as a computer's. He is the ultimate polymath, a man who understands not only the secrets of magic but also the complexities of politics, history, and human nature. The legend of Merlin is a powerful reminder that we don't have to choose between magic and science. We can embrace both. We can use science to understand the physical world, and we can use stories, myths, and intuition to understand the deeper meaning of our lives. Merlin is the ultimate symbol of this balance, a figure who shows us that true wisdom comes from a harmony of heart and mind, of spirit and matter. He is the echo of a time when the world was full of wonder, and a promise that if we look closely enough, we can find that wonder again, even in the most rational of times. While Merlin's story often deals with complex themes of destiny and tragedy, his legend has been most successfully and enduringly passed down through children's literature. This is where the archetype of the friendly, quirky wizard truly comes to life, making magic accessible and fun for a new generation. These portrayals, while simplified, are vital in keeping the echoes of Avalon alive and relevant. Perhaps the most influential children's portrayal is found in T.H. White's The Sword in the Stone. Here, Merlin is a kind, slightly eccentric old man who lives backwards through time. He is a teacher first and a wizard second, using his magic to transform young Arthur into various animals, a fish, a hawk, and an ant, to teach him about the world and the nature of power. This Merlin is not a grand, prophetic figure but a wise and patient mentor who understands that the best way to prepare a king is to teach him empathy and humility. This version focuses on the power of education over the power of might, a message that has resonated with countless young readers for decades. Merlin's presence in children's media has ensured his timeless appeal. From the bumbling, magical mentor in Disney's animated classic to the heroic figure in graphic novels and animated shows, Merlin's character is a staple of childhood fantasy. He represents the possibility of magic in the everyday world and the idea that guidance can come from the most unexpected places. In a world full of complex heroes and anti-heroes, the Merlin of children's stories offers a clear message. Wisdom, kindness, and a little bit of magic can solve even the greatest problems. He is a reassuring figure, a grandfatherly wizard who reminds us that growing up is an adventure and that every child has the potential for greatness. The magic of Merlin is not just in his spells, but in his ability to inspire wonder. By introducing children to the world of myth and magic, these stories ensure that the spirit of Camelot and the lessons of its greatest sorcerer will be passed on for generations to come. He is a symbol of hope, a beacon of light for all who believe that the greatest magic is the one we find within ourselves. In the story of King Arthur, no object is more central than the sword Excalibur. While the legend of this blade is often focused on the king, its true origin and symbolic power are intrinsically linked to Merlin. The sword is not just a weapon, it is the physical embodiment of Merlin's power and his vision for Britain. It is the first great act of his magical counsel, a tool that would define the destiny of a kingdom and its king. The legend of the sword in the stone is a masterstroke of Merlin's foresight. In a time of chaos and conflict, he creates a test that is completely unprecedented. It is not a test of strength but of worthiness. By placing the sword in the stone, Merlin establishes a new form of monarchy, one based on merit rather than bloodline. This single act is a revolution, a magical edict that declares that the true king is not the one who is born into power, but the one who can demonstrate their nobility and righteousness. The sword is a magical scepter, a symbol of divine right and a testament to Merlin's belief in a just and fair kingdom. In some versions of the legend, Merlin's magic is also tied to the sword that Arthur receives from the Lady of the Lake. This sword, Excalibur, is often seen as a replacement for the one pulled from the stone, and it too is a symbol of great power and responsibility. It represents the pinnacle of Arthur's reign, the embodiment of his righteous rule. While Merlin doesn't physically create this sword, he is the one who guides Arthur to the lake, ensuring that he receives the power he needs to fulfill his destiny. The sword is not just a weapon, it is a magical contract between a king and his kingdom, a promise of a golden age forged in magic and honor. The swords of Arthur are more than just legendary blades, they are a direct line to Merlin's grand design. They are the physical proof of his power, his wisdom, and his unwavering belief in a just and noble kingdom. They are the echoes of a magical age, a time when a single sword could change the fate of an entire world. We have reached the end of our journey. We have traveled from the misty forests of ancient Britain to the bustling cities of our modern world, and through it all, one name has remained constant: Merlin. He is a man who was both a historical figure and a mythological god. He is the last great druid, a political genius, and the ultimate psychological guide. His story is a powerful reflection of our own. He is the embodiment of our deepest fears and our greatest hopes. Merlin's final act, his imprisonment, is not a defeat. It is an act of eternity. He is not gone, he is simply waiting. He is the knowledge that lies dormant within us, the magic that we have forgotten but can still rediscover. He is a promise that even in the darkest of times, wisdom and wonder can be found. The echoes of Avalon are not just in the ancient past, they are in the books we read, the movies we watch, and the stories we tell. They are in the quiet moments of our lives when we feel a connection to something greater than ourselves. Merlin's legacy is not just in the legends he created, but in the magic he left behind. He is the whisper of the wind, the wisdom of the stones, and the light of the stars. He is the voice of a timeless world, a world where anything is possible. His story is a testament to the fact that the greatest magic of all is the one that lives in our hearts and in our imagination. He is the unending echo, a voice that will forever remind us that the magic of Avalon is not gone, it is simply waiting for us to listen.